Discipline is not a punishment, it's a passport. It's the gatekeeper between where you are now and where you are divinely designed to be. Discipline is what allows ordinary people to access extraordinary outcomes. Every successful person you see, whether in business, ministry, fitness, or family, they all have one common denominator. They mastered the mundane. They learned how to do the boring, the inconvenient, the uncomfortable things, not once in a while, but every single day. Discipline is the daily decision to act in alignment with your destiny instead of your distractions. And this is not just some mindset trick. This is biblical. The word tells us in Proverbs 13:4 that the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. That's discipline in action. You see, discipline is how you tell God you're ready. Most people are waiting on a sign, but God is waiting on consistency. You don't get to harvest what you didn't cultivate. A lot of folks say they want the overflow, but their daily routine proves otherwise. You can't ask God to bless a business you only show up for when it's convenient. You can't expect financial abundance when you haven't disciplined yourself to manage $100 0 cents properly. It's not about what you do once. It's about what you do repeatedly. You can't ask God to bless abundantly when it's convenient. It's not about your own well-being. But the most important discipline is the architecture of transformation. You want to change your life? Then change your daily disciplines. Because your current habits are perfectly designed to create your current reality. There is no breakthrough without daily discipline. Breakthrough is not just a moment, it's a momentum. And momentum is built one disciplined step at a time. When you feel like skipping the workout, but you go anyway, that's discipline. When you'd rather scroll social media, but you choose to build your business, that's discipline. When you want to sleep in, but you wake up early to pray, to journal, to plan, that's discipline. And here's the truth. Discipline is not just about doing hard things. It's about doing the right things, especially when it's hard. The enemy doesn't have to destroy your destiny. He just has to disrupt your discipline. Because the moment you start getting sloppy with your habits, you start slipping in your harvest. Now let's be real. Discipline doesn't feel good at first. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. It doesn't get applause, but it gets results. And most people live their lives avoiding discipline because they chase comfort. But comfort is the silent killer of calling. You weren't called to be comfortable. You were called to be impactful. And impact requires investment of time, energy, and intentionality. Discipline is the price tag for freedom. Financial freedom, time freedom, spiritual freedom. It all starts with disciplined decision making. Look at athletes. Look at musicians. Look at entrepreneurs who started from nothing. They all built success off the back of relentless discipline. They showed up when nobody clapped. They practiced when nobody watched. They pushed when nobody believed. And eventually discipline produced dividends. It's the same with your spiritual life. You want to hear God more clearly? Discipline yourself to seek Him daily. Want to operate in supernatural wisdom? Discipline yourself to study the Word. Want to walk in favor? Discipline your character, your conversations, your commitments. The problem with many people today is that they're emotionally led instead of mission driven. The problem with many people today is that they're emotionally led instead of mission driven. They only move when they feel like it. But feelings don't build empires. Discipline does. The enemy will use your emotions to rob you of execution. He will distract you with delays, setbacks, fears, insecurities, anything to keep you from stepping into your potential. But when you're disciplined, your actions are no longer dictated by how you feel. You train yourself to act based on purpose, not pressure. That's when you become dangerous, when you become disciplined. Discipline is also the evidence of belief. If you really believe in the vision God gave you, you'll show up for it. You'll fight for it. You'll sacrifice for it. You'll develop rituals and routines that protect it. But if your actions don't match your aspirations, then it's just wishful thinking. You can't say you want to be a millionaire and not discipline yourself financially. You can't say you want to be healthy and keep eating like you don't care about your body. Discipline reveals what you truly value. If you're not working on it daily, you don't value it. You just like the idea of it. And here's what most people miss. Discipline compounds. One disciplined action leads to another. You start waking up earlier, and suddenly you have more time to pray, more time to read, more clarity, more energy, more productivity. And all of that adds up. You don't just become disciplined in one area, it spills over into everything. That's why discipline is not just a tool, it's a transformational force. It rewires your thinking, it restructures your habits, it reshapes your identity. When you live with discipline, you don't just do different, you become different. Now, this doesn't mean perfection. Discipline is not about never messing up. It's about having the tenacity to get back on track quickly. Winners don't win because they never fail. They win because they never quit on their disciplines. If you fall off, don't stay off. Reset, realign, recommit. Discipline is a lifestyle, not a 30-day challenge. And when you live disciplined long enough, it becomes second nature. You won't need motivation because you'll have momentum. You won't need inspiration because you'll have identity. Discipline becomes who you are, not just what you do. God blesses order, and discipline is divine order applied to daily living. You don't stumble into favor, you structure your life for it. And that structure must be built every day. Work on your mindset. Work on your habits. Work on your communication. Work on your emotional resilience. Work on your finances. Work on your body. Work on your faith. Every single day, you are either building your future or breaking it down. Discipline is the deciding factor. Your words shape your world. Every time you open your mouth, you're either building a future or binding it. Most people are living in the harvest of words they forgot they even planted. They think they're stuck because of circumstances, but the truth is they're stuck because of conversations. You have to understand that speech is spiritual. God didn't build the universe with his hands. He built it with his words. Let there be light, and light obeyed. You've been made in the image of God, which means you carry creative power in your mouth. You don't just speak language, you speak life, or you speak death. Proverbs 18:21 says, life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. The problem is, most people are eating bitter fruit and wondering why their life tastes bad. Your mouth is a map. It either leads you toward purpose or away from it. The enemy understands this more than most believers do. That's why he attacks your speech patterns. He wants you to curse yourself with your own confession. He whispers doubt, and then he waits for you to agree with it. He sends fear, and then he watches to see if you'll speak it out loud. Because once you say it, you authorize it. Your words give permission. You can't keep speaking defeat and expect to walk in dominion. You can't say, I'm broke, and expect abundance. You can't keep saying, I'm tired, and expect energy. You can't keep saying, nothing ever works out for me, and expect miracles. Your life will never rise higher than your language. This is why you must work on your words every single day. You have to train your tongue like an elite athlete trains their body. You must become intentional about your declarations. It starts the moment you wake up. Don't wait for the day to tell you how to feel. Tell the day how it's going to go. Speak to your future with faith. Don't just speak what you see. Speak what God said. You might see problems, but God said you're more than a conqueror. You might see lack, but God said he will supply all your needs. You might feel weak, but he said his strength is made perfect in your weakness. But my view is God has ultimate power. Agreement activates power. When your words agree with God's word, things begin to shift. People underestimate the daily power of their confession. They speak loosely, casually, jokingly, but your spirit doesn't know the difference. Your words don't go away, they go to work. They either build prisons or build palaces. And some of us are trapped in invisible cages that our own mouths built. You've got to get serious about what comes out of your mouth. Not just when you're praying, but when you're talking to your friends, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, even when you're talking to yourself, especially when you're talking to yourself. That inner conversation is where most of the damage happens. You cannot afford to speak failure over your life and expect favor to follow. You can't speak small and live large. You have to decide, will your mouth magnify your faith or your fears? Because it can't do both. Faith is voice activated. Fear is too. When you speak in faith, you invite heaven. When you speak in fear, you empower the enemy. This is why declarations are not just motivational, they're spiritual warfare. Every time you declare the word over your life, you're waging war against doubt, anxiety, scarcity, and limitation. Your words don't just influence your environment, they instruct it. You have the authority to call things that are not as though they were, just like God did in Romans 4:17. You're not waiting for things to change. You're commanding change with your confession. And let me be clear, this is not about lying to yourself. This is not pretending you don't have problems. This is about choosing to speak promise over problems. It's about aligning your speech with truth, not with temporary facts. The facts might say you're in debt, but the truth says you're the head and not the tail. The facts might say the economy is down, but the truth says your source is the kingdom. The facts might say you've been through too much, but the truth says God works all things together for good. Your words become your reality, so choose words that reflect where you're going, not where you've been. This is why gratitude is so powerful. It shifts your speech. When you're grateful, you speak differently. You don't complain, you declare. You don't grumble, you give glory. You don't focus on what's missing, you magnify what's working. And when you do that, you create an atmosphere of favor. God inhabits the praises of his people. That means when you speak praise, he shows up. And when he shows up, things change. So every day, speak life, speak blessing, speak progress, speak purpose, speak healing, speak excellence, speak alignment, not just when you feel like it, but especially when you don't. Because that's when your words carry the most weight. You've also got to monitor who you let speak into your life. Just like your words shape your world, so do theirs. Stop letting people speak limitation over you. Stop agreeing with the vocabulary of victims. Don't let other people's fear infect your faith. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is silence the voices around you that don't align with the vision within you. Words carry spirit. That's why Jesus said in John 6:63, "The words I have spoken to you, they are full of the spirit and life." You need life-filled words around you, coming from you and circulating through you. There's also a connection between your words and your work. What you say affects how you show up. If you say, "I'm not ready," you'll move timidly. If you say, "I'm built for this," you'll move boldly. Your language programs your posture. That's why successful people speak differently. They speak with expectation. They speak with certainty. They speak with clarity, because they understand that your language is a leadership tool. It influences your behavior and the behavior of others. You want to lead better? Speak better. You want to earn more? Speak as someone who deserves it. You want to create more impact? Speak like someone already doing it. Don't just speak about the dream, speak from the dream. Let's get practical. Create declarations rooted in scripture and in vision. Say them out loud every morning. Declare, "I am disciplined, I am favored, I am aligned, I am called, I am creative, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am chosen, I am anointed, I am unstoppable." Don't wait until you see it. Say it until you believe it. Keep speaking until your subconscious accepts it as your identity. Because when your identity shifts, your results follow. God gave you a mouth not just to communicate, but to create. Don't waste that power. Use it every single day, on purpose, with purpose, for purpose.